I just slipped the lines from the sail club and I'm heading off north. For the first time, I'm going to go to the inlet, go out on the ocean. It'll be tomorrow when I actually do it because it's a full day's sail to the mouth of the river. It's about 35 miles from here. So hopefully I'll find a good anchorage tonight. We'll do some ocean sailing for the very first time ever for me on my own boat. And we'll get home safely. But we have beautiful weather for it. A nice mellow breeze out of the west, so we should be beam reaching all the way up, I hope. So as ridiculous as it may sound, I've been prepping for this for about 18 months. Getting some bottom paint and some new anodes, servicing the engine, adding a depth sounder and some navigation, adding a little bit of safety gear to make sure I don't fall off my own boat, and then finally making sure I've got plenty of provisions for at least 3 to 5 days. I have a hard time just pulling the trigger on things. I sort of tweak and tweak and tweak, and it's time to stop tweaking and start sailing. I think the current's going to be with us most of the way, and the wind should be favorable all the way. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Alright, we're barreling along here, about 5.5 knots, which is pretty fast for this little boat. Heading towards Jacksonville. This part of the river, the wind always tends to kind of shift to the north. Not sure why, but we'll be pinching in close to the wind for another few miles. I might even have to do a single tack because we got a bridge to get under way the heck over there. Right there is our first bridge, and hopefully we got a good angle on it. I may have to do one more tack. The wind's definitely getting really gusty. Still got a lot of north in it, but we slow down since we're pinching so hard, only going about 4 knots. But be honest with you, the scariest part for me is going through the city, getting under all the bridges. There's probably 4 at least we've got to go through, maybe 5 with a railroad bridge. So I'll probably be just under mainsail and the diesel going. All right, here's our first bridge. And then we've got a jungle of bridges way over there. Like I said, this is not my style of sailing. Just a little bit nerve-wracking. This is nothing, but we've got an iron railroad bridge that's always open, but it has a really small channel. I got a little bit of current against me, about a knot of current, and then after that we've got a big fixed bridge, no big deal, and then some smaller fixed bridges after that. I think it's a total of 4 or 5. All right, here's the railroad bridge. You see that big dark thing on the back? That's the counterweight. This thing is pretty much out of my way. I think I'm gonna have to stay to the left. My very first job as an engineer was the state Bascule Bridge engineer, and I went around the state of Florida and tested and balanced all the state bridges and a lot of the railroad bridges that open up. I'm not sure, I think we did this one, but I certainly did the steel bridge that's coming up behind it. The river has narrowed like to about 10% of what it was, so it's really swift in here, and I've got to be careful. You see the bow kind of drifting back and forth because the current just wants to kind of whip it around a little bit. This bridge is actually a vertical lift bridge. That very center span there lifts vertically up. And a long time ago, I climbed up into those towers and was putting some instrumentation up there to try to balance the corners of this thing. I called for an opening. First time ever, I'm actually having a bridge that I balanced opened for me. I feel kind of bad because I only need like 2 more feet to fit under it. But they're gonna raise it the whole 40 feet or whatever that damn thing. No, I think that thing raises 100 feet. Oh well. There it goes. It's starting to climb. Alright, let's point at this thing and get under it. Oh, sailing down through downtown. There's like an old World War II battleship. It's a Jaguar Stadium right there. Alright, this is a really pretty old bridge. This is the Matthews. Kind of reminds you of the bridge that collapsed because it's a very similar construction. Anyway, we got plenty of clearance here. No worries at all. Right, past the bridges. Thank goodness. Back into the river without any obstacles, pretty much. Really smelly area. You can really smell the chemicals from all the plants and the power plants and everything. Pretty nasty. But engine's off. We're doing 6 knots because we got 2 knots of current with us, so we should be able to make the rest of today's trip pretty quickly. Just another maybe 2 or 3 hours and we'll be where we're going to anchor for the night. All right, we took a turn to the east and we are booking it. We're going downwind and down current and doing, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see that, but we're doing almost 8 knots, which is well above hull speed for this thing. Kind of fun, kind of scary. The cars going across this bridge look like an animation for some reason. They're just so, I don't know, it just doesn't look real. Really close to the anchorage. It's about a half mile past the bridge. And I'm just ghosting along just with my main and the current. And that's fine. I've got to do some preparations for anchoring. I'm just so surprised. I'm here like super early. It's only 1:30 p.m. I was expecting to get in around 4:30, so that current really helps. We were ripping this way, almost 8. Well, actually we hit like 8.5 knots a couple of times, which is crazy for this little boat. All right, anchor is set. We're in about 18 feet of water just off this little island. Pretty nice views until you look over there and there's the big container ship gantries and everything. But should be interesting tonight. Hopefully it's not too loud. And after all my planning and preparation, I forgot anchor beer. Can you believe it? I don't have a beer on the boat. But I had ramen noodles and I added some beef jerky. Don't knock it till you try it. And I was able to relax while the sun set and the city lights started to come on. And that bridge that we went under, that looked so strange, lit up too. Alright, second morning, got off anchor pretty easily. Not too bad, the current's still ripping in. And the dolphin are out here hunting. Right, I don't know if you can see them right out there. And you see where that tugboat is making a monstrous wake? That's for us, I guess. We got to get out there in the channel and hang a right and start heading east. Check out these houses right here on the river's edge. Just seems so strange because there's just giant tugboats and big ships that come through here all the time. In fact, just the water surface is just all a mess. I mean, I'm rocking and rolling all over the place and I'm going super slow, but it's a pretty morning and everything's going good, so knock on wood. I should be in the ocean in a couple hours. In the meantime, it's just a pretty ride. Man, huge boat coming by me. This thing has big tugs next to it. Luckily, those things really don't make much of a wake. They don't really disturb the water too much. Another big one going by. It's a lot closer than it looks. That's the Bayport Ferry right there. All right, there's the northern shore there. Cars parked, fishing and everything. And there are the jetties. And we're about a half mile from being on the ocean. And I decided that I'm going to go ahead and just sail all the way out. Just shut the engine off. 2 reefs in the Genoa, 1 in the Vainsel. A big ship coming in over there, but way off. Not too worried. Alright, well, we're officially out on the ocean, and it is not a nice day. It's really pretty choppy, the waves are pretty big. But we'll see, maybe as we get out a little farther, it won't be as bad. Worse. Yeah, you know, there's no shame in having to turn around and go back. It's really rough. Yeah, there's like 6-foot waves out here. Not really dangerous, it's just no fun at all. And I don't want to break anything. Alright, well, I've been out in the ocean and it's super rough right now, so I'm heading back. Really big waves. Just no fun. Alright, well, I had to abandon my plans for the day. I was going to spend the whole day out there, but it was just crazy rough. Just waves were big, really choppy, really short, like really short period of it. So you'd be coming down off of one and going into the bottom of the next one. Just a little too ugly for like a joyride. Not exactly a joyride. So I turned around, sailed back in. So I'm sailing against the current, but I'm enjoying it. Who cares? Definitely gusty. A little more than I actually bargained for today. So, heading back. Hopefully we can get a little fun sailing in the river. Maybe I'll try to make it all the way back to the marina today. That would be fun. We'll try again on a day that isn't completely wrecked. So you can see how rough it is, and we're already a mile in from the shore. This is what happens when you have wind over tide. It just chops out even inside a river like this. It's just chopped up. Definitely a lot more wind than they were predicting. They were predicting about 10 miles an hour, or about 10 knots actually. And it's more like 15 to 20 out there. And it's about 10 gusting to 15 to 18 in here. I'm tucked away at this little tiny entrance of this creek here. I'm about 4 miles from the craziness at the inlet. I got the tides right, but the wind kind of went from being west northwest, east northeast, I guess, and we ended up with tide against wind, and the waves were just sort of jacked up. It was just really uncomfortable, and the shipping traffic didn't make things any easier. I had just as I was leaving the mouth of the inlet, I was trying to go straight into the waves, but this giant container ship was coming my way. He even blew his horn at me. So I had to veer off to starboard and take some big waves kind of right to the beam, and that was really uncomfortable. So it was big enough. The waves weren't that big. They were probably 4 to 6 foot. But the problem is that they're so close together that by the time the bow of the boat goes down the back of the wave, the other wave is right on top of you. So you sort of smash into it. It just makes for a super uncomfortable day out there. It just wouldn't have been wise to stay out there. I could have broke something. I was beating the hell out of the boat. So this adventure ends kind of as a dud, but the good thing is I learned a lot. I learned, at the very least, I learned the path up here and out through the inlet. I know what to look out for next time, and next time I'm gonna pick a day where it's almost dead calm. I'd rather have it dead calm because there's always a little sea breeze that you can sail, but this kind of thing was just a little too much. Anyway, what's left for me to do is to sit here and wait for this current. You look at that buoy just leaning over to swap out, or maybe I'll just wait till it kind of becomes slack and then I'll head home. Since the tide was against me, I decided to go ahead and spend the night on anchor, cook myself a nice hot meal, and get a good night's sleep so I could get up early and ride the tide back home. So going down this river at night is just a maze of lights. I'm so happy I have navigation. Well, first time going under a bridge at night. Lots of the firsts. Sunrise over the city. Beautiful. Okay, so this is a bridge that never closes, but it's closing. It's a railroad bridge. I can't believe it. I guess I'll have to wait for the railroad. Ah, man, it's like going to work. I just came through the Main Street Bridge and I missed this timing. So I guess I'm just gonna sit here and idle until they open up again. And here comes the train. All right, finally, our way is gonna be clear. All right, we're back in our home slip, thank God. I had a great time. It was a learning experience, I have to say, and luckily we didn't really break anything except for this, and that's nothing. Quick fix. And while that trip was really a long time coming for me, I was really looking forward to a little bit of a positive experience out in the ocean. It really didn't turn out that way. It was really kind of hectic, but it really didn't dampen my desire to be out there and sail a little bit down the coast.